finale in Abu Dhabi. We've got not one, not two, but three proper night races to come here in Singapore. Qatar, of course.
Told you guys we'll be back in 15 minutes. Here we are for the F1 Singapore Grand Prix. Lando Norris, or should I say Pando Norris, starts on pole position with Verstappen second and Lewis Hamilton third. RPM names, of course. I had to go with them. It just rhymes. It just makes sense to me if I just go with them because obviously you made the names up. Here we go. The last few cars again on the grid.
Just see Daniel Ricciardo, Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly, and the two Saubers slotting onto the grid. It's been
here we go.
30 seconds that Lando Norris has been sat waiting.
Lando Norris on pole. Here we go. Everyone on the grid. Just in time as well, actually. Thought I was going to miss the start, but I wasn't. Here we go. Can Norris actually get off the line in the lead, or Verstappen get him? Or Hamilton take the lead? Let's go. There we go. He's actually done it as well. Verstappen is second. There's a few cars going off. It's the Aston Martin of Alonso, and I think the Ferrari of Leclerc. I had to check the helmet of the one that actually stayed on the circuit to see who it was. And it was Leclerc who went off. Lando in the lead. Max second. Hamilton third. There goes Oscar Piastri. That was a nice move from him on Hulkenberg. It's Sainz. He's not a good start. Yeah, Perez is going for a comeback here. Perez and Tsunoda. Yeah.
We'll keep an eye and see and make sure everybody did either make turn two or go through the penalties.
Norris leads, Verstappen second, Hamilton third, and it's Russell fourth, and it's Piastri fifth.
Status quo now, then, isn't it, in terms of where they started on the grid. So I was talking about on the grid walk. We've got some outliers, especially now Colapinto's up.
Yeah, Colapinto's up tonight.
We've got some outliers in front of the likes of Sainz and Perez. They're not as fast on race pace, but they've got the all-crucial track position.
Yeah, they have.
Colapinto in his third Grand Prix, already a point scorer in Formula One, is up to ninth. He's made 3 places on this opening lap. His team
Colapinto
dropping 4 places down into 15th.
DRS is on.
Is now enabled. There's 4 zones to try and help.
4 zones on this edition of the Singapore Grand Prix. Obviously, that's their F1 race till Austin in 4 weeks. Might as well do some F1 watchalongs before the MotoGP final race in Valencia, when obviously my next MotoGP watchalong will be.
Crucially, the Mercedes have dropped away from Verstappen in the DRS.
Mercedes car's done the quick round here, but they're keeping tabs.
3/4 second behind, he will get the rear wing open 4 times in the lap.
Yeah, 4 times in the lap.
Franco Colapinto with a bit of DRS assistance.
Yeah.
Very much staying behind Charles Leclerc.
He is.
And within touching distance of the Ferrari in front of him. Through turn 10 we go. Norris continues to lead. This clearly his best start.
Yeah.
He started from pole or from P1. So the 2 sprint P1s in Formula One so far. His old mate Carlos Sainz is in a right off scrap behind Yuki Tsunoda and in front of Esteban Ocon, who's made up places on this opening lap. And elsewhere, Fernando Alonso staying in 7th.
Yeah, Alonso staying 7th.
Up to 8th. Still, Alex Albon down in the zone he didn't want to be.
Yeah, Albon's had a terrible start. Simon bin Russell.
No sign at the moment of Norris out front to backing the pack up to close any gaps as Russell starts to have a look with Albon.
Yeah, Norris has got a gap out to Verstappen already of 1.3.
Completely different tyre strategies. And for Lewis Hamilton's side of the garage, they will be hoping for a safety car fairly early doors.
Yeah, they will.
But,
that's what Mercedes are hoping for. They're hoping for a safety car. Norris with the fastest lap.
Going off at the first couple of corners, they pretty much kept it clean on that opening lap. No banging of wheels, no barging into barriers here.
Yeah.
We haven't had a safety car for the last 8 races, and we're on lap 3.
And we're not going to have one for now.
Here tonight.
Verstappen now out of DRS to leader Lando Norris, and it looks as if the Mercedes are starting to home in on him. And Piastri then has recovered nicely to keep himself in play. That should then turn into a 5-car race.
Yeah, should do.
And Alonso, perhaps the cork in the bottle.
The closest scrap at the moment is this one that we're focusing on here. We see Carlos Sainz behind Yuki Tsunoda and then behind Sergio Perez at 10. Good start for Perez. Starting 13th there for the second year in a row. Finished 8th.
Norris with 1.5 seconds to Verstappen, and then it's another 1.5 seconds back to Lewis Hamilton, and then another to Russell.
Out in front, maintaining that gap at about a second and a half to Max Verstappen is Lando
Yeah, a second and a half.
And this is absolutely ideal for him, Martin. He can control the pace, keep his tyres in good nick from there.
Yeah, he can, and he hasn't got turbulent air to drive.
Yeah, he can.
Russell already being told over the radio.
Maybe to increase the pace a bit as the guys at the front are getting away.
And he's also been told to mind the spike of tyre temperature,
Yeah.
especially in the early phase when you've got a full load of fuel and well over 100 kilograms of fuel. But I'm not
No one
surprised
sleeps.
to hear that call. George Russell's basically saying, look, I think I can go faster than Lewis Hamilton.
Obviously, 60 years ago at Singapore was the first ever Formula 1 night race.
I mean, he's got the benefit of 4 DRS.
Obviously, now we have, I think, 5 night races on the grid.
On average per lap.
Maybe 6. I mean, I think 4 that start at night, and the others, and obviously Abu Dhabi starts in the daytime. Obviously, when the sun's setting, and then it obviously turns into night.
Norris before he had to drop back a bit.
Yeah, but as I said, he was told to cool it, taking too much.
Yeah, Norris was half a second faster than Verstappen on the previous lap.
Yeah, so there we have it. And it'll be interesting to see if Piastri can home back in now, how quickly he can home
Let's
back
see if
in.
Piastri can do something here.
These drivers.
AK Piastri. I just want to put on Piastri because, yeah.
That will
Kind of rhymes, Piastri and Pastry.
a bit of angst.
Let's have a look at the race start then. So it was an excellent start for Lando Norris.
It
You
was.
can see there, he clearly gets away quicker than Max Verstappen, who was busy covering.
Yeah, I think next year Lando may need to start practicing on his starts. Hello, Sharon Powell. You're right, mate. Yeah, it was. And it was a McLaren Alonso went off at the first corner.
The two Spaniards, basically, are going around the
The two Spaniards.
Somebody else behind them. And let's have a look at this start then.
And this is on board with Russell, yeah.
You know, you can't think about anything. You literally maneuver the car. And so Alonso got a great big slide at the back going on and had to bail out really early.
He did. It didn't cost him a place.
Let's have a look again.
Thinking by Fernando Alonso at Camp Speed, but a car down the inside.
Yeah, Colapinto.
Super move at the wheel. What's he doing?
It's called sending on the inside, Alex.
I rather enjoyed that. That was a super move from the Argentine.
Yeah, it's called sending on the inside. It's called taking a risk. If you're not going to go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. Once said by the great Ayrton Senna back in the 1990s.
Fall through so quickly if you're not careful.
This is Carlos Sainz. We saw him heading down the straight there, watching Sergio Perez battling with Yuki Tsunoda. He's going on board with Oscar Piastri, race for the last time out.
Yeah, the Piastri doing what Senna said.
Additional Singapore overtake as he swung it down the inside.
That was a critical move for Piastri.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
It was critical for Pastry, AK Piastri, so he can try and get after Russell and Hamilton. Norris has got 2 seconds to Verstappen, and it's up 5.
So far this year, part of the reason that Haas in the Constructors' Championship are in 7th place at the moment, holding off Williams, but plenty of points to be had between now and the end of the season. We are on lap 5.
Lap 5.
62 here. There's a 2-second gap between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen out in front. Anthony Davidson, what you got?
There's a feeling, Crofty, that the teams feel that Lando Norris isn't managing the pace at all. So that's what Carlos Sainz has been told. Lewis Hamilton's been told to stick to their own race. So, definitely a feeling that Lando may be taken, as he just said, as fast as that taken by Max Verstappen just now.
Verstappen has now taken a faster lap.
Those two in front are definitely pushing these tyres a little bit too hard.
They are.
As Tetsuko watches on from the garage.
Because I've got Colapinto behind him, but obviously the young Argentine in the Williams car.
The likes of Norris Verstappen can push that little harder without detriment to their strategy.
Oh, they obviously think so. So they're treating it like a normal Grand Prix rather than a Singapore Grand Prix, where, as we saw in Monaco, Ferrari doing it in Monaco, go so slowly that there isn't a gap forming behind you. And bear in mind, this is the longest pit stop of the year because it's just 40 miles an hour down the pit lane, and it's a long pit lane.
Yeah, it's a long pit lane around in Marina Bay.
As we sometimes see. And
But at first year Singapore, they had obviously a pit exit going straight back on the circuit, which I think was dangerous.
they don't appear to be running.
And obviously that's why they changed it, I think, for 2009 onwards.
Certainly, Verstappen has carried on where he left off on lap 5 and has scored another couple of tenths.
Yeah, yes.
Lando Norris's advantage out in front, that gap now about 1.7 seconds. Lewis Hamilton continues just to drop off a little bit on those soft compound tyres. Better middle sector on this lap from Lando Norris. I'm sure George Russell, having dropped back just to cool his car a little bit, will be wanting to move a little closer to his teammate. Thing is here, as you can see from the helicopter camera,
Plan A Ferrari after Sainz.
Narrow streets that run in between the buildings. There's barely a breath of wind in this place tonight.
Yeah, they are.
And it's humid, so keeping these cars cool is very, very tricky indeed.
Yeah, keeping the cars cool around Singapore is very tricky.
As well. It's just, it seems even hotter when you're on track with the walls and the debris fencing around you.
Yeah.
We've seen his cousin. Let's head down to F1's rock star, Ted Kravitz, in the pit lane.
Don't know about that. He's much cooler than me, Crofty. But anyway, listen, Charles Leclerc, this is crucial. If you're watching this battle between the Aston Martin and Fernando Alonso and Leclerc's Ferrari, Leclerc needs to make a move before the first stops come.
Yeah, Leclerc needs to.
12 and 14, if his strategy is to work. Ferrari believe that they have a fast race car this afternoon.
Yeah.
Leclerc really needs to make this
You
move.
mean evening?
Close to the
Obviously, it's afternoon here in the UK, so I see where Ted is coming from.
Somebody's fallen off.
Something's fallen off the first car.
Or the previous lap, somebody behind him. But I wonder who's lost a piece. Having an adventure here and there. But Ferrari were pretty unhappy about their 9th and 10th on the grid, weren't they? And they knew it was going to be a tough afternoon for them.
Yeah.
And that was without Sainz slipping back rather than going forward in the first corner.
As I said, they weren't so much worried about the pace of the Aston Martin. They believed that and the Hasselhoff they could get. If they got stuck behind the Williams, then they were a little bit worried. The upgraded Williams.
Yeah, McLaren looked to extend extra to see. I'm just looking to see if anything I missed out anything.
Is caused behind Colin Pitts.
I haven't.
And Colin Pitts at the moment is.
And also, guys, many F1 fans have been watching since 2019. Today is 5 years since Vettel's last win.
Their recent upgrades with the promise of more to come. And I tell you what. He's already proved, I think, Martin, in his very short time in Formula One that it wasn't a bad choice to replace Logan Sargent.
Absolutely, and he was giving it full.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad choice.
Yesterday as well.
He's going full send.
I've got to be honest, he was never on my radar. Williams has sort of been nurturing him, but he's turning into quite the star so far. And
yeah, he is.
Largely, keeping it neat and tidy as well.
Yeah, Colapinto's been doing well, he has.
One street race so far in Azerbaijan last week where he scored those points.
Yeah, nice.
This is a very different prospect altogether. 62 laps in the heat and the humidity. This will really, really test him. But so far,
so test Colapinto this well.
Flying colours, as I said. We're on board with Carlos Sainz, who finds himself behind Yuki Tsunoda in the RB. Tsunoda just off the points currently.
You're near the start of 9 now. No, I think where Lando is. I haven't obviously got somewhere I can keep an eye on where everyone is on the circuit.
Norris has got the fastest lap of this race so far as well, but there's a long way to go.
I've been in these kind of temperatures in sports cars for long races, and it soaks you.
Yeah, but it's much better than obviously the one where you have to where it's the
part of your body.
So part of so last sector. I like the faster last sector. And Norris again.
Out front. Norris is just going for it.
Yeah.
How's the pace? Yeah, pace.
Wow.
Okay, in which case we'd like to use a bit of that pace to try and get a 5-second gap to match the possible by the big teams.
So about 7 laps time, 6-7 laps time.
6-7 laps time. McLaren want a 5-second advantage on 6 seconds. Albon definitely looks quicker than Magnussen. He needs to find a way to get ahead. Or Magnussen's on the higher tyre.
I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it? The rate of change, the rate of development. And that's something I love about Formula One. Standstill.
Yeah, from 18 months ago, become a worse car on the grid, last in the constructors. Now they're top.
5-second gaps between the Red Bull and Max Verstappen and other cars, but it was the other way round at the start of the season. Max Verstappen, who hasn't won now since Spain.
Yeah, since
Last
Spain.
win, Spanish Grand Prix. So Alex Albon is pressing Kevin Magnussen hard. Medium tyre against hard tyre. Williams against Haas. Carlos Sainz is fractionally closer to Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah, Sainz is
getting a little bit frustrated behind Tsunoda.
You can see it, Colpinto struggling. Let's have a
Well,
Colpinto's
Perez
struggling.
just closed up in the last lap and a half to Franco Colpinto. Maybe it's just overdone his tyres.
the DRS train against Singapore.
See Sergio Perez.
It's usually in Singapore you can get DRS trains because obviously it's a hard track to overtake it.
Another 15 kilometres an hour or so of DRS assistance as we head down towards turn 16.
It's about now you start to think, this is hot. This is so hot.
Yeah.
And you realise you're 15% of the way through the race.
And you can see Carlos Sainz moving to the right behind Yuki Tsunoda to try and get some
Some as this allows is obviously much quicker than the other way up.
His car across the finish line.
136 from Lando.
4/10 of a second behind Franco Colapinto. The gap between Norris and Verstappen has gone up to 4 seconds. Another new fastest lap.
From Lando.
Norris is doing exactly what his team are asking him. And what Red Bull want is Sergio Perez a little bit closer to the front.
Yeah, that's what Perez won for the championship, the constructors.
Of what I could do. And why they want that 5-second gap is if Red Bull at some point down the road decide to try and undercut them and come in the pits, they've got that margin.
Yeah, that's got to be.
It builds
That obviously compromises the time. That's why they want the gap.
Respond to Red Bull and still stay out.
Is he ready for Piastri?
It looks like plan B at the moment. Plan B.
Plan B for Piastri.
Might be go a little bit longer with your opening stints than we were originally intending.
Yeah, it could be.
Just so that you're out there with track position. If Red Bull feel they have to pit,
Yeah, it's got Pinto sliding out of that corner.
In the way that Lando Norris held up Sergio
Turn 13
Perez
now.
a little bit in Baku for a lap or so, just to aid the victory last time out.
I assume they change their plans every race, otherwise they're giving.
I feel the same as Rondo. I do. I feel like sometimes they can do that.
We could hazard a guess at that, but it's quite clear to me that
Well, Perez trying on Colapinto
is driving a different race
for 9th place in this Grand Prix.
Piastri is very much pacing himself and like 1.6 seconds slower there than the leader of the race's teammate.
That's a man I think driving for the long game. And
Team radio.
Magnussen reporting hard seems worse than medium competitors.
certainly the
Oh,
case,
that can be something. Magnussen reporting the hard side worse.
Driver to pit on lap 11, early pit stop to try and put him into some free, clean air and manage their pace just a little bit. Into the pits he comes. Ricciardo started this race on the soft
tyres.
tyre.
It's good at mediums.
So this RB pit stop, slipped with the left rear.
Right rear wasn't.
Slower at the right on that
wasn't as fast.
He'll come out into this race last, but in a nice clean air and sporting a new set of tyres.
Yeah.
Sort of very wobbly on the curbs, isn't it? Lewis Hamilton with the
Yeah,
isolation.
that's from very
They run about
soft tyre race for
22
Hamilton.
PSI, the wide tyres is the minimum pressures they're allowed. But
Yeah.
you do get some of that oscillation on the sawtooth curbs. But Ricciardo's got some nice clear air. They managed to
Ricardo
do
does.
Out back, don't they? But and Norris nearly up to his 5 seconds now that they asked him to pull on Verstappen, who's similarly.
Team over Tsunoda.
Perez and Colapinto are fighting. There could be something coming to us. Let's be on it.
Yeah, too much information.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit speculative, isn't it? And I don't
It
know
is.
if you really need to bother your driver with that, do you? I mean,
Yeah, I feel that sometimes get too much information off my friends. I sometimes just want to say that.
confetti of carbon fibre pieces should something happen, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he's watching it very closely, given that he's a second and a half behind that particular battle out on track as across the line goes Hulkenberg. With Fernando Alonso in DRS range and
Basically.
DRS range of Alonso as well. So it's Hulkenberg struggling a touch on his tyres. It's Alex Albon.
Albon's at a pit lane.
He was stuck behind Kevin Magnussen, which was rather
Yeah, he's pulled another cut on K-Mag.
Dropping all those places on the opening lap. So they've switched his strategy and have brought him down to cover off Daniel Ricciardo as well. Our tyres going on. The last thing
good stop from Williams
is to keep going for a few more laps, getting stuck behind Kevin Magnussen, and to have the RB ahead of them when Albon finally pits, and they've covered that one off.
What's called a Pinto?
The track continues to
Oh, he's hit the wall.
Continues to rubber in, and they get rid of the fuel load, and especially the cars are a bit more downforce. They will fire up the hard compound tyres just fine.
Perez staying nicely away from the concrete barrier at turn 17, and Franco Colapinto taking a wider line through the corner and a much closer attention to it. I just embraced the concrete paint.
Yeah,
now
Colapinto did.
Close enough to Yuki Tsunoda here to get a good exit out of the next corner.
13 and Lando, fastest lap again.
To turn 16.
136.4. Team radio. To Magnussen. AJ K-Mag.
The track temperature is still around 37 degrees, and the answer is Carlos Sainz needed to be another couple of car lengths closer to make a move down the inside.
Yeah, and then the answer also is that fourth DRS at this phase of the Grand Prix, until they start really hurting the tyre wear, it isn't making the difference in terms of overtaking, shall we say. Russell beginning is just on his personal best, but and they are 5 seconds off the back of Verstappen now.
Yeah, they are.
I think, like Piastri, driving to a different pace.
Everyone is driving to a different pace.
Yeah, everyone is.
Norris currently is the only driver
except Lando
that is in the 136s, mid 136s, and that gap on lap 13 is up to 7.5 seconds. He's building a really, really useful lead to Max Verstappen.
Yeah, no, it's 7.5 seconds now.
Looks like the sort of pace that gave him such a commanding victory in Zandvoort in the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah, it looks like he's at pace.
He's 21 seconds behind.
And this time he can win by half a minute, not even more.
A lap slower. When that gets to 30 seconds in the next 5 laps, Norris will have a pit stop window there to drop into, should he choose to do so.
That's one of the things that McLaren are asking from their driver, to give us that pit stop window, that opportunity. Around the slow left-hander we go once more at turn 13 and onto the Esplanade Bridge with Carlos Sainz behind Yuki Tsunoda. There is Oscar Piastri.
It's Oscar Piastri chasing down the two Mercedes.
George Russell, yes, he is.
In a custom Mercedes car. I was meant that because McLaren have Mercedes engines.
Tactically, McLaren as to how they.
And the Aston Martin is a Mercedes without regime vibes, like about Mohawk says.
Ferrari takes down in the pit lane. What do you got for a
Sainz
just seeing the Ferrari come in, just to explain what's going on with Mercedes, them dropping down with the Lewis Hamilton soft tyre start. The intention was, as you say, Crofty and Martin, that they were hoping to gain position on lap 1 with Hamilton. That didn't work out. Okay, you could say he did keep the position.
It's like Sainz, 2.6 so. With one of the tyres, so it's a bit slow, but I don't mind.
But apparently with Hamilton, his pace is just sort of capped at the moment with having to keep the rear tyres under control. Just keep the
hang on, miss. Albon could be ahead of Sainz here.
Strong, maybe 2 seconds.
And there is absolute evidence of that undercut power. Remember, Alex Albon stopped to cover off Daniel Ricciardo. Carlos Sainz has been brought in there. Smart thinking by Ferrari to cover off Alex Albon. Was that one more lap? And he's coming out way behind the Williams, who's got DRS though, Alex Albon. Down Raffles Boulevard towards turn 7. Sainz is just far enough
still ahead
to ward off any threat at that moment.
Yeah, absolutely right. And now we're going to see the true potential of the hard compound.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I think Kevin Magnussen struggling on them, but it does seem as if they'll come into a sweet spot anytime.
Yeah, they will.
Now, what's going to be interesting here, now that Albon and Sainz have stopped for their hard tyres, does this trigger the likes of Tsunoda and Perez to have to come in and make a pit stop a bit earlier, because they're in danger, I think, of losing track position if they stay out that much longer, and if that undercut
that's what it could be like.
is that much stronger.
It's always been powerful around Singapore.
Gives you so much grip. There's so many braking zones, turning points. And here's Sainz. What's he done?
He's slightly touched the line there.
He's just stopping in time, I think, on that one and not going over the white line. Did he go over the white line?
Yeah, I think if you go all 4 times over that line, you get a penalty. That's what I think it should be.
Look at that.
The tyre's got to be all
Not
the
just
way
one
over
tyre, I
there.
think it should be all.
The side part of the tyre's got to be beyond the white line. But here we go. Lewis Hamilton.
Norris has gone nearly 10 seconds here.
This weekend. You're wondering why they look slightly different as they're coming towards you. One of their sponsors. And there is Piastri just sort of creeping off, beginning to pick the pace up, beginning to come back.
No, that's fine. Piastri's picking the pace up.
These hard tyres that have been put on Albon sites are working beautifully for the Williams and the Ferrari. Albon had got into the 136s a few moments ago.
Yeah.
He's actually, Alex Albon is in a bit of a problem because he's lost touch with
Albon.
Sainz. He's just been passed by Daniel.
He's got an
Ricciardo.
issue.
He's had a horrible first sector on this lap, Alex Albon.
Well, we're riding on board with George Russell. Albon's lost a place and looks to be limping around the track a little bit. I wonder if he's picked up an issue here after that pit stop.
I'm pretty sure it's for Albon.
Head round the final
Could be engine related.
Oscar Piastri, a couple of seconds
it could
George
be.
Russell. You can see how Alex Albon has got absolutely detached now at the rear of the fields, and we can ride on board with him.
It looks really low and stiff at the back, doesn't it? At that pace, but
yeah, it looks like something engine related or gearbox related.
Pits, maybe for retirement, Alex Albon.
He just on a 136. He was comparable with Lando Norris on the lap before the issues. There is praise indeed from Sergio Perez.
On board with Leclerc behind Alonso and Hulkenberg.
Grand Prix worth of experience. And is finding out just how good Colin Pinto is on his 3rd Grand Prix.
Yeah, he is.
While on board with the Ferrari currently, staring as it has been, Charles Leclerc at the rear of that Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso. Nico Hulkenberg, very much the cork in the bottle for these two.
Yeah.
Talk about teams with a long way north of 1,000 personnel, a long way north, some of them. Hulkenberg, P6, has around 280 people are working in that team. They do an extraordinary job.
Unreal from Hulkenberg.
Yesterday in the David and Goliath stakes.
And working down at Williams, a pit crew waiting for Alex Albon. Ted Kravitz.
I mean, it looks okay. It's all going in a straight line. It's all pointed, but this is retirement. Alex Albon turns off the car.
I guessed
and then the mechanics put the fans in, and what a disappointment for Alex. Of course, the Singapore Grand Prix, so important to Alex, the closest race of the year to his to Thailand, of course, where his family is from and under which flag he races. He really wanted a good result here. Went bad.
Yeah, let's see an F1 race in Thailand.
Got worse. We'll get a reason for retirement, but we've seen those things happen, especially at the back of the car after pit stops. Put stresses through the car. I'll find out what's happened. Get back to you.
The car was overheating.
Car overheating. Alex Albon was told the Marina Bay circuit 337 miles from the border with Thailand. Anthony, to you.
Yeah, so I was listening into Albon's radio, and he was indeed told to box the car. You can see it's overheating, but they believe there might be something in one of the ducts. I think that's what I could just make out. So that would make sense when they're overheating there.
Yeah, that does make sense if there's something in the car.
Sainz now, he's warmed up his hard compound tyres. Is lapping.
Gap's nearly 12 seconds between Lando and Verstappen.
Norris is lapping it still at the 1:36. He is 12 seconds out in front, and no one else is getting anywhere close to those times.
Trouble for Sainz is he's now going to catch Bottas, Zhou Guanyu, Stroll and Gasly rapidly. Presumably,
Sainz will.
Have enough grip, and that's not him, of course, that's Leclerc. But when he gets there, he should have enough speed and grip to sail past those drivers, and he needs to.
Certainly does. I'm sure he's got it. Bottas and Joe and Stroll, they're not going to be pitting anytime soon because they started on those hard compound tyres. So do Ferrari think about an undercut here with Charles Leclerc?
I was checking to see what Twitch was doing.
He's in a position where he can quite easily jump Alonso and Hulkenberg.
Hamilton's been told to pit.
With a clever undercut.
Yeah, Leclerc.
We'll go with him.
When we went on board with him, as Hamilton pits to get rid of those soft
It's not
tyres.
Piastri, he stayed out.
Russell's got performance to spare. We're proud to see it.
Hamilton pits. His teammate George Russell might be thinking about pitting too because Oscar Piastri is right up his rear wing.
Nice stop from that.
2.5. But we think McLaren are going along with Oscar Piastri.
McLaren could be going along with Piastri.
2.5 seconds stationary for Hamilton. Where is he going to come out though into this race.
Yeah, where will Hamilton
Charging
come out?
down towards turn 1 is Kevin Magnussen. Hamilton should slot back in behind him.
Norris is sort of building himself. He's starting to head towards building himself a pit stop window over Max Verstappen in second place.
Yeah, Lando
a
is.
dozen seconds clear now and taking.
And then you lose more time because of the straight they had now instead of the forwards. So corner. So it looks like Lando may. Obviously, you'll lose more time in pit lane. That's what I'm trying to say. Compared to the old way out.
To make the overtake. Now we'll see what the true pace is.
So there's got.
So on board from behind with Osama bin Russell, with Oscar Piastri behind him.
Pull away from Oscar Piastri, put some daylight, get out of that undercut threat.
Good job on the brakes. Yeah, but they react completely different, you know.
Oh, so
He's been calming those down a bit, and now doesn't like the feel of them.
Yeah, he's just backed off a little bit behind Fernando Alonso. He's out of the DRS range to cool them down and get some air running through them.
And we mustn't forget, Ferrari still fancy a chance at the Constructors' Championship, don't they? But with
Ferrari do.
Sainz making his way back from currently P17.
Sainz making his way back through the field.
How they needed to be playing out today.
It's not how Red Bull needed it to be playing out either second and ninth.
High threat from Piastri for the undercut.
Championship leaders, of course, for the first time since 2014, are running first and fourth currently.
Yeah.
And Lando Norris at the moment running his own race and is now 13 and a half seconds nearly clear.
Was it about lap 19, sorry, where Hamilton retired in 2012? I think it was.
Back of Russell, so
I have to find out.
Two now.
I didn't watch that race, I don't know. I've seen an F1 Classic races, but I haven't seen it.
Well, will they need
Classic races, I mean, I haven't seen it at one time.
Well, but Sainz then has cleared one of the Salbirds, but still hasn't cleared Joe Guan Yu. This is the pain he's going to take coming through there. And he's in the 38s when he should be in the 36s.
Absolutely, but look,
Sainz will get it done now.
On Joe Guan Yu as we head down Raffles Boulevard past the hotels and the shopping centre, and he's picked up a nice little purchase there to put that Ferrari up into 16th. Right, we are running on lap 20 of the Singapore Grand Prix. 19 still running. It's a fourth retirement of the year for Alex Albon.
Confirmed by the team as a power unit overheating problem. So whether he picked up a visor tear off or a bag or something in his
he could pick up something on the circuit
after the pit stop. That's what led to Albon actually retiring from the race. But I'm seeing some action in the McLaren box, pit box, Crofty. I'm just wondering if now is the time for Piastri to come in and try maybe a little bit of a cheeky undercut on George Russell. Because you see the pace of Norris. That's the same car Piastri is driving, and Piastri's no slouch. So I know it's the long game you've been talking about, Oscar Piastri, but he's got to get on with it at some point.
Yeah, Piastri has to get on with it.
Lando Norris now 34.5 seconds ahead of Hülkenberg, Alonso and Leclerc. He can afford to make a pit stop, will not get caught up in traffic.
Yeah, he will.
Come out behind his teammate. So Norris has himself quite a lot of options here.
He can pit now if he wants to.
On board with Lewis Hamilton after his pit stop. He has some overtaking to do, and the first driver ahead of him that he can get close to is Kevin Magnussen. He pulls out to the right-hand side and makes that move before the corner. I am seeing there's quite a few marbles already building up off the racing line, which certainly doesn't help overtaking, because you get onto the slippery stuff and it stays on your tyres for a little bit longer and it rather affects your pace. No problems whatsoever with that pace of Lando Norris. Nearly 15 seconds clear of Max Verstappen. George Russell running in third now that he's been freed. He's about half a second a lap clear of Oscar Piastri. He's put some distance between himself and that.
Yeah, Russell's got
Hülkenberg looking
a gap between him and Piastri now.
The car down the straight there to make sure he's not about.
Who will be next on the pit? I'm guessing Piastri.
Fernando Alonso coming past him.
Yeah.
I think I cut all the way into the plane.
Well, he says that they're running out into the pit lane at McLaren, and was that a bit of a dummy? Because
it could have been a dummy.
Has gone straight past. And
it could have been a dummy.
Lap, so as you were, everybody.
Back in the blankets, we know what tyres they'll be putting on that. It's the only tyre put on it, frankly, isn't it? Because they started on the mediums.
Yeah, because it's starting mediums, they can't. The softs will make it to the finish, obviously, so they got to go hard.
With Carlos Sainz at the end of the DRS over turn
I'm bored with
16,
Sainz.
and that time around got
Behind the window they cast, aka Lance Stroll.
Alonso, but Alonso is cunning and he is wily and he's not going to be overtaken very easily, and you can see him harvesting the energy.
For our race, we just want to go as long as possible, so if we need to look after tyres, we will. We just don't want to be the first person to pit between you and us.
Smart from McLaren.
We might want some tyre life, extra performance life towards the end. To be honest, Verstappen could pit now, and Lando could probably stay out for another 3 or 4 laps and still be clearly ahead of Verstappen. But he pits.
There goes Sainz. That was easy.
And eventually, he gets his man.
Good move.
Sorry, Carlos Sainz here gets Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Moves up into 15th.
Stroll. I don't know who's down there in the same car as Fernando, where clearly Alonso in the same car is 5 points.
Nico Hulkenberg is struggling a bit, not running the right place. He is doing a super job for Haas to keep those two.
Let's see what happened to Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton clipped the wall.
No, he didn't, but he did have a big slide on.
It had the slide. It's difficult to know from that camera angle. It didn't look like he was going to hit the wall, did it?
Yeah.
I think it was just a slide.
Doesn't need those tyres.
There's Bono and there's Kimi Antonelli next to Toto Wolff, I think.
The wall, he didn't feel it. There might be damage to the car. There is Lewis Hamilton.
Miss Hamilton with bang with Ocon.
Fresh tyres. That's certainly helping his pace and helping him get some overtakes done as we head towards turn 1. You can see those marbles, those bits of discarded rubber from the tyres off the racing line as they head through turns 1, 2, and 3.
The benefit really, I mean, Norris, Verstappen and Russell are all in clear air because the gaps are so enormous, actually.
Yeah, they are.
But they've got that, but Norris is just playing second a lap faster than Verstappen.
It's just how quick that McLaren is.
So well in free air.
There goes Hamilton.
Wants a bit more free air, cleaner air as well. And he's got past Esteban Ocon to move himself up into 11th. He's pitted. Carlos Sainz has pitted. Daniel Ricciardo has pitted. Alex Albon pitted too, and is the only retirement of the suspected power unit issue from this race.
We are one of the earlier stoppers, but not the earliest. Way too short.
Hamilton could be right there.
He didn't need to come in that early, and it was a good. I'll try and see it again, but when we watched the yellow glove of Lewis come across, when you turn the wheel, you block your own view out basically with your hand. Then you see it now on the Ferrari. You literally block your forward view, but you're not looking out the front. You're looking sort of across the top of the two, in front of the two tyres.
Yeah, because that's gone really close to Alonso. It's going to be a moment to overtake.
Otherwise, you miss the console where you go.
I think Alonso also has DRS.
Pace at the front from Lando Norris.
Or Hamilton, he's struggling with the tyre.
Reaction from it was just too fast for those soft knockdown.
He usually says that he's struggling with the tyre, but I think it's like he does it as a dummy.
Into an earlier stop than A, he was thinking, and B, he would have liked. He had to try and keep with that pace, couldn't, without coming in too early.
He obviously started on the soft compound, which looks like a mistake, doesn't it? Because it didn't give him any advantage on the first lap or two, and it means he had to come in earlier. Yeah. I think that mistake was probably made this morning.
Someone's got a Manchester United shirt on at a Formula 1 race. Bro, United played yesterday and they drawn in over Crystal Palace.
But he might be able to keep that place, keep
got the other one
ahead
yesterday.
of his teammates George Russell by the time Russell and everyone in between Hamilton made
Do you want to go,
Oh, this is so frustrating. How many laps are we going to do again? Keep calm.
Oh,
Well, you can understand it.
don't tell us going to keep calm in that situation.
Behind Fernando Alonso and Nico Hulkenberg, who's doing a super job to protect.
I mean, yeah, fair play to Hulkenberg. He's doing a great job in that Haas car.
But for Charles Leclerc, he could just see any hopes of a top 5 finish just disappearing at the moment.
Yeah.
I think they can do. They can't magic him up the road, and they're right to say keep calm because drive angry, the car goes sideways and backwards, doesn't go forwards. And it's just a very good point.
There's Verstappen in second.
That's That's the hand we've been dealt today after a poor qualifying.
Lando may well go for a Grand Slam here.
Plays out. We're nowhere near half distance.
Lead from a pole, lead everything up, and obviously so fast as that.
4 out of 62. Ted, down to you.
I know it's frustrating. I feel Charles Leclerc's pain, but Alonso and Hülkenberg are driving really well to keep him behind him. Just a quick one on Piastri. Do you think we're looking, Crofty, at them trying to clear Lewis Hamilton with their stop? Because the McLaren mechanics, feel a bit sorry for them. They've all got their helmets and balaclavas on. They've been in and out of that McLaren pit box more times than, something that's been in and out of something very often. But anyway, they're not,
looking at massive tyres.
They're trying to get 30 seconds on Hamilton to make sure that they come out, because at the moment they haven't got it, have they? But they're short about 3 seconds.
Yeah, I think you're right. I tell you who's not short at the moment of the seconds it needs is Carlos Sainz, who I think has undercut Charles Leclerc with that early pit stop. There's a 24-second gap between Leclerc and Sainz at the moment. If Leclerc can pit, his teammate will be ahead of him.
That will please him massively, won't it? He's already not very happy.
Right, let's go to the pit wall at RB. Lauren Mekis is with us, running 10th, and with Daniel Ricciardo running 19th. Lauren, give us the story of your race so far. Why the early pit stop for Daniel Ricciardo?
Get out of traffic, I'm guessing.
We have to get a bit earlier than planned with Daniel. We anyway started on the new soft. We did try to be aggressive. We didn't make any places at the start, but we wanted to give him a chance to move back on the grid. We did it early. We had a little bit of concern with some debris in the brake duct, but it's now cleared, so he's putting some good laps together. Obviously, he's at the back of the pack, but he's free air and as it's getting back onto the guy right now.
And Yuki running in 10th place. He's got Lewis Hamilton right behind him. Are you worried about the potential of undercuts behind Yuki Tsunoda?
Well, we have a bit of a margins behind Yuki with, Lewis has pitted already, so we are not at threat with that. He's probably going to pass us. This is the most likely scenario. We have a bit of marginal Ocon behind, so we are not really looking at the threat of the undercuts. We are trying to see how much we want to extend this stint and see if there is a chance to get a bit closer to get in front.
Kevin Magnussen struggled on the hard compound early in the race, but they seem to come into the right zone.
They come alive though on the race, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you're right. The guys that were on hard at the beginning, Stroll, Magnussen, they all seem to struggle a little bit. So you don't really
because obviously it's a start race, I'm guessing.
Either. But yeah, it's becoming a bit more reasonable now for them. But certainly, it's probably one of the reasons you see most of the car trying to hold on their medium tires because the performance on the hard didn't look great on those cars.
Thanks ever so much, Laurent. Maybe speak to you a little bit later. Lewis Hamilton, not happy with the strategy he's been given here.
Don't blame him, to be fair.
Yuki Tsunoda.
And first guy over Alonso.
Charles Leclerc has finally got past Fernando Alonso into turn 16. He's made that stick as we
there goes Hamilton
now,
on the inside.
Passed by Lewis.
He's gone wide.
He goes very wide at turn 16, and that just gives the place.
He had to go for it.
Tsunoda again, and Alonso pits from 7th.
Wow, Lewis
Alonso pits
super late on the brakes down there, wasn't he? That was never going to make the corner, and that's cost him dearly.
Alonso stopped here.
Talking about, you pitted me early.
Good stop from Aston Martin.
2.6 with the drivers around me. They're pitting later. They'll have fresher tyres. They'll have an offset tyre life at the end of the race.
Yeah, and
Alonso's coming out ahead of his teammate.
Here. Yes, it might be difficult.
Lewis that is ridiculous. That is. Alonso's a whole pit stop with a whole pit stop in on Stroll.
By the time it all converges,
and a few seconds extra too. That is just ridiculous. Aston Martin definitely needs to get rid of Lance Stroll, and a lot of people obviously agree with. A lot of people obviously say that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. Oh yeah, I know why, because their dad owns the team.
Yeah, the anchors. He put the anchors out too late there. That was never going to make the apex.
It's not a nice moment for Lewis Hamilton or Toto Wolff and Mercedes. Their team boss might just be rubbing his head with his hand in a few moments' time once again.
Yeah, Lando's got 34 seconds to Russell.
Is to George Russell. I've been keeping an eye on this. The last 4 or 5 laps, Piastri has been steadily gaining on George Russell. So that pace that we were seeing in the opening stages where he was biding his time seems to be giving him benefits now.
Yeah, Lando, Piastri biding his time.
Those tyres to try and get some overtaking done.
Yeah, and this high wing, high downforce setup on the McLaren, where Norris dominated.
Rear tyres are quite loud now. Yeah, should be too long.
Rear tyres are quite bad for Max. I mean, to be fair, Max has obviously got
dominated so much back in Zandvoort, and it's working beautifully again.
Yeah, Lando dominating Zandvoort.
Shouldn't be too long was the message there from GP to Max Verstappen. They try to build a gap, Anthony Davidson to Hulkenberg.
Well, no, the front two, Crofty, they're just waiting it out because of the safety.
Yeah, they are.
If that happened to either one of
them, comes Lance Stroll.
The one that hits, obviously, under safety.
I should say the guy who should not be in Formula One.
That's what they're waiting. They're just standing off, aren't they? And neither wants to be the first.
I mean, if I was a team principal at Aston Martin, I would have fired him after probably the first season with Alonso. I would have fired him after that. And Russell's being told to pit. Was that a dummy? Piastri carries on.
He's going to squeeze down the inside there and claim.
So McLaren going for the advantage at the end of the race.
Ocon, that's how he got past Kevin Magnussen. Ted, down to you as George Russell comes in.
Yeah, so they've waited for long enough
for
a goal hanging for a safety car that's never going to come. So George,
wow, that's a great stop from Mercedes.
2.2 has jumped. He's undercut Nico Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg hasn't stopped yet, but Alonso's done a brilliant outlap, and the lap after that, he's done enough to clear Hulkenberg in those stops.
So Russell will come out just behind, behind Perez.
Not having a ball.
As Hamilton's got past Tsunoda.
Sort of pit stop moves, isn't they? Not bringing Piastri in because that's going to give Russell a massive amount of pace to build a gap to Piastri.
We're
on board with Charles Leclerc.
But Piastri's just been given the hurry up by his race engineer. This is the race now. Time to go.
Yeah, Piastri's been given the hurry up.
Message over the team radio. Now he's been freed from behind George Russell. Let's see what he's got.
Okay, mate. This is the race. Let's go.
There you go. Confirmation of that particular radio message. So Norris and Verstappen and Piastri, the top 3 yet to pit. Hulkenberg, Leclerc, Colapinto, Perez haven't pitted. Russell is the first of the drivers that have made a pit stop.
Yeah.
It's working out horribly for Charles Leclerc, though, isn't it? Yeah. He's losing net places while he's tucked up behind the Haas. He's just losing out to those that are pitting.
And this is the defensive job that Nico Hulkenberg's doing.
They're probably going for the late race pace.
But as you say, wrecking Charles Leclerc, but he wouldn't have been down in 9th place if his tyres gave him enough grip at the
Here he goes.
But they've got enough grip there going into the right.
Great move from Leclerc.
16, and finally, Charles Leclerc can get past the Haas. He is up into 4th place.
And didn't pit, of course. That was just before the pit lane, so probably elected to do something a little different there and just keep going.
Yeah, probably did that as Ferrari. Colapinto's still in 6th. He's doing brilliantly. It's Perez pits for Red Bull.
That's the kind of pace he needs because Russell will fly on these tyres.
I'll tell you one person who is pitting, Sergio Perez, who was steadily making his way through the field.
Good stop from Red Bull.
That was a good time
2.2.
Back out into the racetrack with a decent gap to perform the way he wants without cars around him. Hard tyres have gone on. 2.2 second pit stop, which is a fairly rapid stop there for the Red Bull team, who will come out ahead, they hope, of Zhou Guanyu.
And they.
So where has Lando Norris picked up a bit of front wing damage?
Oh.
Has he gone over a curb? Is that the issue? We're on board with Lando Norris.
He's off time. Verstappen's been told to pit.
Coming into the pits now. He was saying, Martin, he wanted to pit, he needed to pit, but do they just sense a Red Bull? Now's a really good time to pit, Max.
Yeah, he's got
try the undercut.
No more time back.
Won't necessarily work unless Norris has got to replace that front wing.
Yeah, he touched the wall. He locked up into turn 14. I'm hearing, so we'll get a replay of that.
Turn 14.
It takes about 12 seconds to change the nose and front wing.
3
Of course,
seconds.
He's got that in hand with the lead he's built. But Norris concerned then that he may have damaged the front wing, but they'll look at the suspension loads from the data on the car and quickly
Hulkenberg's been told to pit.
if they think
Hulkenberg's done brilliantly today so far.
lost the front downforce.
Verstappen comes out, wheel to wheel here, neck and neck.
Leclerc's got ahead of Verstappen.
Leclerc. Oh, that was touch and go. Gets ahead of Max Verstappen. And whilst Charles Leclerc has not pitted yet, the last thing Red Bull really wanted is Verstappen to be stuck behind the Ferrari.
Yeah, he won't be there long, though, will he?
No, I don't think he will be. Let's see. As we head down Raffles Boulevard, is Max Verstappen within striking distance? No, he's not.
No, he isn't.
Just a few more corners to go. Hulkenberg's pitting.
Hulkenberg's in.
Ocon is pitting as well. Hulkenberg with a 3-second stop. The Williams crew 2/10 quicker with Franco Colapinto.
But you're right in what you say. The last thing Red Bull needed was for him, and it looked a decent Red Bull stop, didn't it? Was for him to lead any time, even if it's on the outlap, as Norris pits from the lead.
Ted Kravitz is down there. Down to you, Ted.
Right, let's have a look at this front wing then, shall we? Looks okay from where I can see, and they get to work. Very nice, of course, they're not changing it. And
it's a great stop from McLaren.
It's small enough not to be able to be seen, Crofty. Let's see if you can see
there
on
goes
your head-on
Verstappen.
shots, but I don't think there's much damage to that front wing. But okay,
not much damage to Verstappen's race.
Lando's got to move done. Not Lando, Verstappen's got to move done. Lando's back out in the lead.
We saw them adjusting something on it, but that's standard. When you change compounds, you want more or less front wing to balance the aerodynamics up with the different tyres.
So after Verstappen pitted a lap earlier, Lando Norris came into the pits, changed his tyres, continues in the lead of this race. Last two Singapore Grand Prix have been led from start to finish, and this race in 2024 is being led from start to lap 31. Well, that man there, Lando Norris.
Lando's got enough gap. What he could do is go for the fastest lap at the end.
He's not pitted yet, and still Norris is out.
We may do that anyway on the tyres he's on.
That's what it's cost him in the traffic and cost him in qualifying yesterday, as Norris still busy collecting the McLaren up there in the traction zone.
Verstappen absolutely flying, not overly happy with the strategy that he's been given. And let's see what it looked like from on boards as he rounds the inside of turn 2 and then suddenly sees a Ferrari.
Yeah, he had to slow down, he did.
I just don't get it. Why we let him uppercut him so far? It's just so stupid.
I think what Max doesn't realise is that he's not really been undercut. The Ferrari's a pit stop behind him.
Yeah.
I think that's what he thinks he's just lost track. Yes, effectively, but he thinks he's lost race position and he hasn't in reality.
No, he hasn't.
In fact, now.
I'm sure the message was relayed back. Look, it's not our fault. Charles Leclerc finally got past Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah, Leclerc did.
Showing a lot more pace than he was able to before. Look at that. So McLaren 1-2 at the moment. Lando Norris leads from Oscar Piastri.
Oscar Piastri in second.
The difference between the two McLarens. Piastri has not pitted in this race yet.
We see a small issue with the front wing, nothing serious.
And your gap to Max Verstappen.
That shouldn't be a big issue, front wing damage.
About 20 seconds, 21 seconds between Norris and Verstappen. So Randy Singh, racing director at McLaren, overseeing strategy with the strategy team. Head full of numbers throughout each and every one of the 62 laps here tonight.
Verstappen quicker in this phase, certainly on this lap, than Norris out front by a couple of tenths in the first sector. And a bit of an incident out there between Gasly and Hulkenberg that's been noted. Having a look at now, what are we going to see?
Gasly, Hulkenberg.
So is this where Lando Norris thought that he'd hit the wall?
Yeah.
And how close is it? There's the lock up. There's the lock up. Oh.
Well, that's what
He
happened.
brushed it, but he didn't bang it.
Yeah. Wow. Lucky escape.
Lucky escape.
It, didn't he? But it was quite soft. The wall was quite soft there. He's locked the front. He's obviously, his tyres are getting a little bit thin and losing temperature.
Yeah.
And Lando has, that's the wrong side of the front wing. It's the other side we need to be looking at.
It doesn't look too serious, though.
I'll tell you what, Martin, we've seen incidents like that where a driver has touched the ball harder and it's absolutely destroyed their race.
What's the radio?
So traction metrics, everything's looking really good at the moment.
That is not the answer that I expected there. I think go George go, what might be a better encouragement message, but traction metrics, very engineer motivation, isn't it?
I don't think George was looking for how well he's doing and a gold star. I think he was.
And these laps are crucial. Keep driving like this.
Yeah, I think he was sort of
Probably going really long in this race.
Give me some tools to work with.
The traction metrics all about limiting the wheel spin on the cars, by the way. I was just going to say, you need a bit of luck to go out and win races and maybe win championships, and Lando Norris just had a bit of luck at 14.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Another half metre of slide, and he'd have been reversing out of there with a broken front wing.
No further investigation needed. Gasly and Hulkenberg, Anthony Davidson, let's head down to you.
So I've just been listening to Oscar Piastri's radio. They're telling him at the moment that he's matching Lewis Hamilton's lap time. So that's the fight that we need to be keeping an eye on.
Yeah, we do. And what's the gap between Hamilton and Piastri? About 20 seconds at the moment. So around about 30 seconds at the moment.
At least Austin
for the pit stop delta, so what you lose by coming in for a pit stop, Martin, is about 28. That's
and
right.
Hey, at least McLaren are winning.
Piastri has got a pit stop over Hamilton here.
Yeah, his pace has been solid. Piastri, I thought he has dipped into the 37s, but obviously his tyres have done 34 laps of this race so far, and there it is, confirmation on the screen. 28 seconds it costs you to get down the pit lane, stop, put some tyres on, and while your rivals are thrashing down the pit straights.
But I think looking at the timing screens, if Piastri's going to pit, come out ahead,
the target lap will be the Plan C target lap.
Plan C target lap.
Plan C. Okay. Front right, so much trouble with it.
He might need to pit at the end of this lap to make that stop, come out ahead of Lewis Hamilton. We'll see.
That's another pitting.
Comes into the pits, that frees up Carlos Sainz, who pitted much earlier, and that Sainz up into 7th place, and is currently some 22 seconds behind his teammate Charles Leclerc, who is yet to stop. If he stopped now, would come out behind his teammate. Ted, down to you.
Well, that's the thing about Charles Leclerc. He's the one who really needs some encouragement, because if Leclerc stopped now, he'd come out around the Hulkenberg Alonso battle where he was stopped before. Leclerc's engineer says, look, we need you to keep matching the lap times you're doing in the sort of low 38s, but it's a really difficult ask for Leclerc on 33-year-old medium tyres. Just to say that Alonso did well and truly undercut Hulkenberg. So great strategy from Aston Martin. And in fact, Alonso has now cleared Hulkenberg by some 7 seconds. So great work, Fernando Alonso.
Oscar, we're tempted to stay out. That would mean you had to overtake Hamilton after the stop. How would that be? I'm sure it's a great idea.
He thinks
now
and negate that need to do the overtake. Overtaking is tricky.
Because there's some great laps on these old tyres.
Russell has pitted and has jumped his teammate Lewis Hamilton in the round of pit stops. Leclerc still yet to come in.
Yeah, I mean, Piastri's tyre delta would be massive because Hamilton stopped on lap 17.
Yeah.
Remember, Sainz also went in on lap 13 it was. So they're trying to get tyres a very long way in this Grand Prix. But Piastri doesn't seem confident. But
we're putting Piastri back into our window very slowly.
I think they missed the moment, Martin.
He's that was.
They missed the moment to get Piastri in now ahead.
They're waiting for a safety car, aren't they, with Piastri? That's what
They're waiting for a safety car in pastry so we can get him out
and if there is
at
a
Hamilton.
will be by some margin.
And maybe going to have a go at Russell for podium.
It certainly would. We've been going 57 minutes so far. We're on lap 35 out of 62. Normally by this stage, Martin, we're thinking that's probably about another 40-odd laps to go here. But now we've got that taken out 4 corners. We've got a new DRS zone. Might get home in time for a cup of cocoa.
I didn't catch the plane.
Lap 35 is 62 then. Gap out in front. 9 seconds. Norris over Oscar Piastri.
Russell looking full way past Sainz. That's third, I'd say.
Norris lap at about 0.3 of a second slower.
Come on, play that.
The
That's almost the cars I'm on now. Obviously, boo.
As we see George Russell once again trying to get it closer.
Oh, around the outside goes Russell.
Turn 16 is going to go around the outside, goes off the track. As Charles Leclerc decided, you are not passing me at this particular moment, and he's going to get frustrated once more.
Yeah, I'd be a bit like Leclerc as well. I'd be like, you're not getting past, George.
Turning point on there to the last corner, for example. And Russell quite rightly yielding immediately. Behind him is Fernando Alonso.
It's Fernando.
Behind Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton's coming up behind George Russell, who's been rather held up here by Charles Leclerc. That's kind of bringing Lewis Hamilton back into the game with his teammate at the moment, running in 6th place. We've lost one driver in this race, Alex Albon, with a suspected power unit, so we've seen absolutely no signs of the safety car yet. We haven't had a safety car for 8 Grand Prix.
Since Canada.
Safety car at every one of the Singapore Grand Prix. Something has to give on that one tonight.
I think the drivers are in good form, aren't they? The cars are reliable.
Yeah.
The cars stick to the road well. There's a bit of get out of jail free zone there that George Russell had to utilise.
Yeah, Russell had to utilise that.
That's why we're going wheel to wheel. He wasn't ahead, George Russell.
So to go around the outside, you've basically got to have your front wheel ahead of their mirror to have earned the right to any space. They're driving standard regulations at the moment.
Oh, got a Pinto.
I'll give you a question here, Martin. I know it's counterintuitive, but isn't trying to press Charles Leclerc for an overtake George Russell any good in the long run? Or does he need to kind of drop back a little bit? Hold position, just wait.
If Red Bull go get RB, I mean not Red Bull, RB are going to get back here in this race, you've got to just go for a safety car with Ricardo.
That's costing him dearly while
and Leclerc's pitting.
And that's sorted out.
Just. Hulkenberg down in 9th place and currently on his way through 10.15 now towards 16.
So it's on the inbound.
Held up George Russell just a couple of laps to go.
Good stop from Ferrari.
Really good tyres go the hard compound. Nico Hulkenberg is just rounding the final couple of corners, 60 kilometres an hour. The pit lane speed here, one of 4 tracks.
Yeah, Leclerc's got
60
ahead.
kilometres an hour pit lane speed.
Yep,
slow,
guessed it.
But it's not quite
I've got it to perfection. Leclerc is back out in 8th, and he may actually. I think Leclerc's going for P6 today now.
Right behind the Ferrari, 2 Ferrari-powered cars here. New tyres now for Charles Leclerc. Warmed up hard tyres for Nico Hulkenberg, who was the fastest Ferrari driver during qualifying 3.
Yeah.
Piastri is struggling on his tyres a bit as the DRS zone down the Raffles Boulevard can't get Nico Hulkenberg any closer.
Yeah, as they wear, they obviously start to lose temperature and that hurts you under braking,
Yeah,
as we saw with Lando Norris. Piastri's done well to get the tyres that far. Leclerc now can set off after Alonso and Sainz, and I think this is
Leclerc can
quite nicely for him once he got some free air.
Sainz pitted on lap. A long time ago, and a very long time ago, by the time we get to the last 10 laps of this race. I can see a scenario here where Sainz is desperately defending against Fernando Alonso, and Charles Leclerc is behind the 2 of them, thinking he can pick up some places. This is Gasly in his battle with Kevin Magnussen, and there comes Sergio Perez, blasting his way through the marbles to get past the Alpine into
good move from Checo. And then there's Colapinto going off.
Colapinto bailed out and left the track. He's been noted for leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
Yeah, I think
that could be a 5-second penalty for Colapinto.
He immediately overtook, didn't he, down the next straight? If I'm reading that replay correctly.
Verstappen's gained on Oscar Pastry.
Has Hulkenberg ahead of him, the gap of about 1.5 seconds. Danny Ricciardo, who was the first driver to pit.
If this was a virtual safety car now, this would play right into Piastri's hands.
And you would imagine won't go to the end of the race.
Sauber's are 20 seconds off.
Ted, we can head down to
be fair, man, now focus on next season 26.
Got company in the pit lane very shortly. Guess who's coming in?
Oscar Pastry.
No, Pierre Gasly is coming in, I promise.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah,
Oscar Piastri.
I was thinking more Oscar Piastri.
Pierre Gasly's hanging out for just passes the McLaren mechanics right in front of me. There is the number 10 coming in. So he was goal hanging for a safety car. And it's the soft tyres. Oh, it's a slow stop. Oh, slow stop. bad luck Alpine on the right rear.
Right rear,
It's the
followed for
soft
Gasly.
tyres onto Gasly, like Tsunoda. That's a weird choice at this point in the race, but hey ho, we'll see how it goes. But finally,
There
Oscar
goes
Piastri makes his stop, and again, that smart work, quick work by the McLaren
Yeah,
guys.
great work from
Very
McLaren.
nice stop, felt like a
2.2.
2.3. I don't have it in front of me.
2.2.
Oh,
Our
it's a
veteran
tenth of a
reporter
second
strikes again.
slow. But Piastri out there on the hard tyres. He will go to the end as McLaren seek to make this a 1-2. Can Piastri do something about
Piastri's
that?
on much fresher hard tyres now.
The two
There's 24 laps
here
left in this one, so
Oscar
Piastri can get me out.
with a very nice strategy that has worked out well for him. Can he get past Max Verstappen and is charged now to the end of the race? Sorry, he's not done two Mercedes.
Yeah, he's behind both Mercedes actually at the moment, but with a massive tyre offset to Lewis Hamilton that Lewis pointed out early doors.
Yeah, Hamilton did point that out.
Absolutely. No further investigation for Franco Colapinto, so he can breathe again. Is this strategy going to work? He's bided his time. He's preserved his tyres. Now, you haven't got that many laps to go. You go and use every single last.
You go ahead,
performance
Franco.
out of them and see
Not me,
what you can
Franco.
come back
Oscar. I mean, why did I say Franco Colapinto for?
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting Piastri to really fly now. Norris has what's he got? 23.5 seconds, hasn't he? Just over 23 seconds out front. He can pace himself nicely there.
Yeah, Lando can pace himself
got
now.
an answer to anything out there.
Teammates.
Heading down the Esplanade. There is Esteban Ocon on the inside of his teammate.
Yeah.
The easiest stopping zone next. It is a little bit down.
Not the easiest, but he made it work. And there goes Magnussen.
Looking too nice for his teammate, who's really struggling before that pit stop, as Magnussen got past him.
Yeah.
Esteban Ocon, who has retired the last 3 years here at Singapore. And
that's good. Either his car, I remember it was French, or we smashed into the barriers.
The strategy that he's been put on by the Mercedes team, I think he's going to like it even less very shortly, because Oscar Piastri is right behind him.
Yeah, I think Lewis was painted in the corner with that used soft tyres on the grid, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That didn't pay any dividends whatsoever. Brought him into the pits early. Piastri will be flying. He'll have so much more grip than Hamilton and DRS. He needs to lunge in.
Yeah, I guess Piastri.
He wants to get after George Russell.
And he has done so.
Hamilton didn't even really bother to defend that.
The long way round was still short enough for Piastri to get the move done.
Don't cheer that on.
That's his first round of applause, and he's looking for a couple more as well.
He's not shy, is he, Oscar Piastri?
No, he ain't shy of a good overtake. There goes Leclerc on Alonso.
George Russell under a massive amount of pressure coming up.
Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso, the most experienced drivers on the grid. If you total up all their racing kilometres over their years, it's more than halfway from the Earth to the moon.
What are we waiting for? We are discussing Yuki.
He wants to come in and pit. Whilst Hamilton couldn't do much to defend against Piastri, Alonso is giving proper defence once again here with Charles Leclerc right behind him.
Now, I think what Tsunoda is saying is, why is Ricardo not letting me through on a different strategy? Why are we waiting before you move that way?
Alonso is the inside line, but Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, I think Alonso should go there.
To make that overtake, going into turn.
So Leclerc down to 7th
place. He's around about 4 seconds behind his teammate Carlos Sainz, who pitted on lap 13, an awful lot earlier.
Yuki, we need to stay calm. It's clear. Yuki, I tell you what we're doing. We close up and then we swap. Yeah, with the tire, damn it.
He's very close,
yeah.
But not right up the rear wing, and you're asking a lot of any driver to slow down and swap with this distance between the two cars.
But what he's saying is, I'm close enough now within the sort of 3 second range. I'm damaging these soft tyres, which is already a pretty edgy, spicy sort of strategy anyway, isn't it? Put those tyres on the car in the closing stages.
If you were going into a race, Martin,
I'm 42, I'm guessing. Right. Yeah, that's 42 now. I was guessing Lando was near the
would you comply with
start finish straight anyway.
Coming your way?
Yeah, I think he's obliged to do that. Luckily, I finished 5th at my last race, and I didn't know it was my last race, so I didn't have any of that misery to contend with.
We're expecting an announcement at some stage in the next few days. As Daniel Ricciardo does very much comply and let Yuki Tsunoda through at the opportune moment where he doesn't lose.
So Liam Lawson may then, obviously we Liam Lawson for the rest of the season.
Get a bit of extra pace as well. So we're expecting an announcement. No official news, but the speculation is that Liam Lawson will be in that Red Bull car, that man there. For Austin and beyond. And if that happens, it's not guaranteed to be the end of Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
The word on the street is that he's still in the driver pool and he's still in contention for a seat next season.
Yes, he caught Russell by a second on the previous lap. So George Russell is about to have company.
Yeah.
In roundabout
striking distance in 3 laps. And there goes Leclerc at the fastest lap.
Papaya glowing under the lights here in the night in Singapore, and I'm sure George Russell could probably see him in his mirrors at the end of the straight.
And you do wonder, assuming Piastri can get past the Mercedes, whether he can set off after Verstappen in the closing stages as well. But it's a fairly tall order. He's 18 seconds behind Verstappen at the moment.
Yeah, it's a very tall order. I don't think Piastri would do that.
20 laps to go. It's a tall order, but it's not out of the question. 10, sorry.
I mean, he's got the same car as Lando, hasn't he, Oscar? And Lando's currently 24 seconds ahead of Max, so I wouldn't put it past Oscar at all. I think we're about to see a bit of Ferrari strategy team as well.
Swap positions, the orders come out, but it hasn't happened yet.
He needs to, if Leclerc's going to really solve anything and get anything back from this race, then Sainz needs to let him through. I think they've actually ordered him now. They've ordered him to let Charles by, haven't they, Crofton?
Yeah.
Yes, they have. Yeah, the instructions gone out. They're just waiting for the right time to do it. So we think he would overtake him anyway. He's just supposed Ferrari just saying make it easy.
Yeah, that's what Ferrari turns Sainz to think.
Last straight would have been a good option to do that, but
he actually goes quickest of anyone.
Now.
There we go.
There we go. And we've got Leclerc low 1 minute 36 is faster than the two leaders, just showing you what they could have done if they didn't have such a miserable qualifying.
Yeah,
absolutely. Charles Leclerc there is.
So it's a close to P6 now.
15 seconds behind Lewis.
And you can still get Hamilton 5th.
With fresher tyres. Talking about could Piastri get past Russell?
Well, what they could do is put Hamilton for a new set of medium tyres. That's what they could do down in Mercedes.
Coming his way.
Because I've got 19 laps left after this one.
Quickly, he's got a sniff. He's got a chance of Verstappen up there in second place. Anthony at Sky Race Control.
Yeah, just speaking of that fight with Russell, this imminent fight we see on the screen right now with Piastri closing in all the time. The last message I heard relayed to Russell was to make a switch change, which would actually, unfortunately, give him a bit more harvesting, so more D-rates, as they call it at Mercedes. That's their terminology. So it might be a bit easy.
If you keep this pace, we should catch Hamilton at the end.
Catch him before the end, to be fair.
Let's see what Leclerc can do then.
It's only 1 point, but Piastri's now got the fastest lap. And Lando Norris is he's not a complete pit stop ahead, but it might be that in about 10 laps' time, he's got enough pace to have a free pit stop with Max Verstappen behind him, and McLaren might think it worth pitting him and going for that extra point.
Yeah, but why would you risk that? He's not 30 seconds ahead, but why would you risk that? You know, a stuck wheel nut or a broken jack. It's a big risk for a victory against a victory for one fastest. I hear what you say, unless Norris has actually got enough pace in there to do it for himself anyway without pitting.
That's a very good point. If, by the way, Lando Norris, including this race, wins every race between now and the end of the season and takes the bonus point for the fastest lap and wins the sprint races, and Max Verstappen finishes second in all of them, they'll be level on points going into the last lap in Abu Dhabi.
Well, they will be.
That's why I asked the question about the bonus point.
You're absolutely right. It's critical, isn't it? But well, let's see. You're right, but he's not 30 odd seconds. You'd want to be 32 seconds clear, wouldn't you, before you took that gamble?
Yeah.
He might want his teammate to get a bit closer to Max Verstappen if he can as well.
So Leclerc still doing high 36s out there. It's a chance of interacting very end of the race. He can keep that pace up.
It could be to Leclerc.
By for some interaction. Don't go anywhere yet.
Yeah, I think Ferrari should hit Mercedes, should hit Hamilton and put him on a fresh set of mediums.
Tyres has Oscar Piastri pitted on lap 38. 27, lap 27 for George Russell. Here comes Piastri, but not enough to get
Piastri's going for
You
it.
get that sort of concertina effect. And the driver is
Concertina
always going to
effect.
be on the throttle a car length or so earlier than you, and pulls away. You're sliding around in his turbulent air as well.
DRS of
Now
Piastri.
Piastri's got some work to do. As you can see, the Mercedes harvesting electrical power, presumably to deploy that on one of the straights where it's really going to help him defend.
I think he's going to need it. A couple of turns time as they turn right-handed, 88 miles an hour onto the Raffles Boulevard, where you'll approach the top speed of this race of just over 190 miles an hour. DRS assisting Oscar Piastri on his way. Once again, he's going to have to go the long way.
And there
round.
goes
Once again,
Oscar
he does go
Piastri.
the long way
Oh,
round.
that was close
Tries
between
to fight that
him and
out with the
Osama.
cheers of the crowds who line the streets down there in the packed grandstands. Piastri has got past. I tell you what, it's like a second home race for Australian motorsport fans. Singapore, we're 5 hours from Perth and not that much further from Melbourne, Sydney as well. A lot of Aussies in town, they'll love that move.
Yeah, they
Piastri's
will.
put a lot of faith in both Mercedes drivers in that turn 7, but he knows he can do that. They don't want to lose their front wing with a nothingy incident, but Russell was quite kind to him there, but I don't think he got any choice, frankly. Piastri was so much faster. So 1 and 3 now for Mercedes. Can Piastri get after Max Verstappen?
Yeah, can they?
Well, that is going to be the charge, isn't it, now for Oscar Piastri? Ted, down to you.
Talk about Max Verstappen. He is doing a really, really good job. A 36.4 last time round, now 36.6. You contrast that with Perez, his teammate, in the same car, a 37.7. So over a second per lap slower is Perez.
Yeah.
Checo's trying as much as he can, but he can't get past Nico Hülkenberg. He's in P10, and it's these kind of performances from Checo where he's stuck behind cars or just doesn't have the pace that's meaning that McLaren will again today extend their Constructors' Championship lead, won't they, Crofty? Especially if Piastri can get up close. What is he, 18 seconds behind Verstappen now, and maybe even challenging him in the next, 15, 18 laps we've got left. But Checo really struggling. Looking at the other way, Hülkenberg doing a great job holding up Perez.
Yeah, Hülkenberg is. There's Alonso ahead.
Driven a superb race today in that house and reaping the benefits of a good qualifying as well.
Yeah.
Don't discount Franco Colapinto from joining this battle at the end.
Yeah, don't discount Colapinto.
Continues to hold Sergio Perez up. Looking at the sector time,
Looks like
Verstappen.
I know Ricardo did pit, yeah, it could be his tyres.
Is he matching Lando Norris or going a little bit faster than Lando Norris?
Yeah, I think it is.
The last couple of laps. Norris has just put in a 1:35.9, which is his best lap of the race so far. The reason why Verstappen would want to keep matching that,
but yeah, 52 points. I was just
Norris
counting
thinking
it.
about another pit stop, but also to keep that Red Bull ahead of the charging Oscar Piastri, putting a 1:36.5.
Yeah, a 1:35.
The tyres are looking very good, Nico. Very good.
1:35.9. That's only 0.3 off fast.
And Haas obviously can still catch
it's not
beating with constructors for 6th. Technically, Williams could still too.
Have a go.
There's 6 rounds left.
Well, we've seen that, haven't we? Already this season, he's taken that fastest lap bonus point on the last lap. Example when he won the race.
Yeah.
Bonus point going to Charles Leclerc and to Ferrari at the moment. But
He's done it again.
Focus in on this battle. It's more like a steam room if I was going to pick holes in that one, George. It's the humidity in the air. But if you've ever imagined running on the spots and holding a few weights in your hands while doing some jogging on the spot in the steam room, that is like the Singapore Grand Prix for a driver. That's Daniel Ricciardo, who sees Esteban Ocon down the inside, and then Kevin Magnussen straight away.
Charlie Leclerc just took 2.4 seconds out of Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, that's why I said McLaren should. Not McLaren. Mercedes should have pitted. I keep mixing teams today.
He did. Remember George Russell hit the wall on the other side of the track last year? Orlando has just hit the wall on the right-hand side.
Like a stroll.
Let's go back to that in a couple of moments. This is Ricciardo really struggling on his tyres out there.
RB should pit Ricciardo. They should have done.
Getting past.
They should have done when Marcelo was behind. They should have pitted him.
Yeah, there's a right kink into that turn. And it into the turn 10, and it catches them out. And that's a second lucky escape if he hasn't done any damage to the wheel rim, tyre, or transmission there for Lando Norris. And it was.
We're not in Australia, Checker, but we are close to Singapore is close to Australia, so I'll take the point.
Glancing blow, was it? That was a thump. That was a thump over the wall.
But I wonder, look, we're lap 48 out of 62, Martin. This is where the physical energy starts to really interfere with the mental precision and energy as well. This is where those little lapses are understandable and do happen.
Yeah, and you're right. Yeah. That's very little more than that took Russell out of the race last year.
Wait, what football matches have we got?
So,
I know, obviously, City, Arsenal, Man City, Arsenal. So what's the other one?
9th and 10th, the last 2 points, playing positions there.
Oh, Forest Brighton, I forgot about. Yeah, just wanted to check the football matches because I forgot the second one.
3/10 quicker than Verstappen previous lap. And
Lando now goes quickest.
Fastest lap.
1:34.9 from Lando.
Did he? And that's moved it quite well clear at a 34.9 as well.
Yeah.
Another championship point in his pocket for now.
I just want.
And it'll be his first Grand Slam.
Like that, just as a driver, you can tell because you raced in some very atrocious races, just to not to wake you up, but just to refocus you at a moment where the body is crying out for a sit down and a cup of tea.
Yeah, and I yes, it does, and I think it's especially hard for Lando with such a comfortable lead. It's so easy to let your concentration lapse as your body is just crying out. You've got so much core temperature. It's probably run out of water out there, and
it probably has.
Laps will not go fast enough for him now.
He's just been told on the team radio, full concentration, Lando, take a drink.
Yeah.
I would imagine whatever he's got in his drink pack is absolutely boiling hot right now.
He's a tea bag in it, that's for sure. There's nothing worse than drinking hot energy drink, squirting it down the back of your throat.
Delightful. Almost.
Radio.
Okay, so full concentration now, take a drink.
There you go, Will Joseph with the message to Lando Norris. Drinking a roasting hot energy drink, probably about the same sort of feeling that Sergio Perez is getting. You know, just not the most pleasant position to be in, and he's not in a pleasant position because Nico Hulkenberg's still doing a brilliant job in holding him up, and now Franco Colapinto is right on the tail.
Leclerc catching Hamilton.
And talking of on the tail, here comes Charles Leclerc, who's right on the tail of Lewis Hamilton, and we've seen this before at the Singapore Grand Prix, which can be a slow burner sometimes, but the last 10 laps with an offsetting tyre strategy, with fatigue setting in with the drivers and the oppressive conditions.
This is without doubt the hardest race of the season.
Mistakes can happen and things can change in the blink of an eye.
I think it definitely was a wake-up lap, wasn't it, for Lando? He scolded himself.
Yeah.
He's had 2 lucky escapes now. Let's try and make it 3.
At the moment, he's on for the win, the pole, the fastest lap, and leading every lap as well, which would be a Grand Slam, and will be his first Grand Slam in Formula One. In terms of wins, it will be his 3rd of the season. So
it will be. The can still get forfeit, actually.
Other than Max Verstappen,
Hamilton does not pit.
3 Grand Prix this season. Charles Leclerc is absolutely blasting towards Lewis Hamilton here.
Oh, Magnussen's a puncher.
Magnussen is feeling the opposites because he's got a punch. Has he hit the wall, I wonder? Where is Kevin Magnussen on the track? He's down at turn 8. And that's a long way to go to bring that Haas home, if he can bring it home without shredding too much debris from the tyre onto the track.
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton are heading down Raffles Boulevard. Magnussen at the moment heading towards turn 10. We're heading towards turn 7.
And there goes Leclerc
down the
inside on Lewis Hamilton.
One iota Lewis Hamilton.
Okay, Lewis Hamilton. Just using occupied mobile names.
To Charles Leclerc's advantage. There was nothing really Hamilton could do about that. Leclerc is up into the top 5. Kevin Magnussen continues to limp around here as he makes his way to turn 13. I'm wondering, I can't see, Martin, tyre debris on the track.
The tyre looked intact, didn't it? So as long as he didn't drive too quickly, he shouldn't start shredding the tread of that. And he is driving very slowly. There'll be white flags waving everywhere to say slow car ahead. And he's hit the wall on the exit of turn 5, I'm told. So
exit turn 5. We've seen that before.
The tyre off the rim or actually both broken the bead on the rim. There's turn 5. Wow, that wasn't much of a hit, was it?
It wasn't. It's enough to heard it. Felt it, moved the wall a touch, bang.
Bang.
It hit it a bit harder than it first looked.
And he's immediately lost pressure in that tire. So it's just
immediately has.
The bead off the rim or more likely broken the tyre rim.
Ted, down to you.
The Ferrari mechanics have come out of the pit lane. I think they're just covering what could be a safety car. To be fair, Ferrari mechanics have been...
Team radio.
How are these tyres for a restart? Question.
I think everybody would stop if there was a safety car restart.
Yeah.
To be fair, the Ferrari mechanics have been in and out of that pit box more often.
If there was a restart,
nice part this weekend.
then yeah,
So,
I think everyone would stop.
As it happens, they don't need a safety car because good old Kevin Magnussen, with a deflated left rear, has actually made it past me back into the pits.
Excellent. And will be stopping on his mark, so as
Yeah, the Haas crew ready.
as he possibly can. Let's see if they can get the car back out again. Soft compound tyres, Martin, going on Kevin Magnussen's Haas. Kevin Magnussen in 2018 and 2019 set the fastest lap here. His and Haas's only fastest laps in the Grand Prix. With 10 laps to go, he's got a set of soft compound tyres on.
Oh, it could happen again. Just imagine Magnussen such a fastest up at a race.
He can't score a point unless he's in the top 10.
Yeah.
He can stop Norris scoring the fastest lap point. There's the pivotal thing here, isn't it? You're not allowed. You don't get the point if you're not in the top 10 at the end of the race.
Team radio.
I have understeer and I have oversteer.
Yeah.
A bit of everything there, George, which is not a position you want to be in. That's not going to give you balance. What I would say, if Magnussen does go for the fastest
10 laps to go.
Lando Norris is once again getting into a position where he could pit and come out again and keep the lead. And might fancy getting that bonus point back again. And isn't that the one
if someone else gets
bonus point for a fastest lap? We're having this discussion. They'll be having a discussion down at Woking in Mission Control.
Yeah, they will.
And it just puts a little strategic element into the end of a race.
Yeah, do you remember? Was it Piastri's McLaren earlier on the weekend where the rear wheel nut stuck on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, all that sort of thing is in your mind, but at the same time, you've got to
pretty much
go for broke. But
right.
They've got a comfortable victory here available to them. So let's see what they decide to do. But you're right. He is, incredibly, Norris is virtually a pit stop ahead of Verstappen now.
And Verstappen driving well here, to keep that Red Bull in second place.
Radio.
Have a look, lads.
Pressure's looking good at the moment.
Pressure's fine for George.
Just have a look for me, just in case. Verstappen driving very well indeed. And that threat of Oscar Piastri charging after him, I think, has dissipated. That's gone away now.
And what they haven't had in this race is any kind of respite with a safety car, virtual safety car, red flag or whatever. It's been relentless. And there'll be a few drivers out there just struggling to keep focus, to keep the concentration.
Previous longest, I think, was lap 36 was the longest, or lap 35 was the longest we'd ever gone without a safety car.
That was Verstappen
in
on the other side of the track compared to Perez.
53 now, so that's an awful lot of time without a respite in conditions that you really wouldn't want to be.
Again, Lando when it can drive it a day. I think personally, drive it a day should go to someone like Leclerc or Sainz maybe.
Max Verstappen has now grown from 16 to 17, now 18 seconds. Last
It's
time
fair, Lando's been quite dominant,
Pit Waller just advising
today.
Oscar just to bring it home from here, despite him having much younger tyres than the Red Bull ahead. But Crofty, do you know who's most impressed me today in this race?
Russell P1, 36.6. What do you think, Russell P1? I meant Norris, but I didn't want to speak in the corner. I don't care about Norris, you Russell.
To be fair, Lando Norris is not the guy who's racing.
Lando's not racing like that.
What's impressed me is not George Russell, who can have understeer and oversteer at the same time, yet still drive a Formula One car very quickly. Nor Lando Norris, who's now almost 30 seconds in front of Max Verstappen's Red Bull. It's Colin Pinto, Franco
Magnussen's done it.
Who has not had the break of a safety car, like you've just been saying, and has remained absolutely on it from a great start.
Yeah.
Has held on to Sergio Perez in front of him. It's only 1.7 seconds of scoring another point for Williams around an unforgiving street circuit. Hats off to Franco Colapinto.
Yeah, hats off to him.
Vamos, Frankie. Kevin Magnussen has just set a new fastest lap of the race.
He would.
As predicted. Ted Crowder
now Lando's going back
in that McLaren garage and get ready to come out. Let us know, Martin.
Yeah, that's a conundrum now for McLaren, isn't it? They're 29 seconds ahead. They've just about got a pit stop in their pocket. They just about in another couple of laps.
You seen on the track there from the advertising, from the wrap that they put around some of these concrete barriers. With the cars going close to the wall, it's ripped off some of that plastic.
Yes.
I think it's off the racing line at the moment, but you wouldn't want it to float up into the air and get stuck in an air intake.
No, absolutely. We saw some of that at Monaco as well, didn't we? With the advertising pulling off the barriers.
Just chill out, bring this car
home. There's your answer.
Yeah, not going to fit.
Gosh, he's self-third. Looks like that way anyway.
I wonder if Lando have been on the radio to ask about the fastest lap to see if they needed to go for it.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't tell him. But they don't need him trying to banzai at that.
They don't need him to do that.
Bothered and a lot of marbles around and tyres a little bit second hand.
Sergio Perez, we're watching from the front wing. This is what it feels like to race behind the Haas of Nico Hulkenberg for lap after lap after lap. Franco Colapinto after dropping back behind this back.
Not gonna lie, this race is actually quite, not entertaining as that MotoGP was.
Close with 1.5 seconds behind Perez now. Then on the main footage, there's Charles Leclerc, who is around about 9/10 of a second a lap quicker than George Russell. He's got that gap down to about 3 seconds. And there is definitely time for George Russell to get some defending done and for Charles Leclerc to try and get some overtaking done before we see the checkered flag.
Watching Perez at a minute.
Perez said to us earlier today, from where they are, unless something strange happens in front of them, they hope to get to 6th and 7th. They're 5th and 7th at the moment, 2 Ferraris, but that is the cost of qualifying.
Carlos Sainz might yet find himself under a bit of pressure, though, from Fernando Alonso. If you remember, Sainz stopped fairly early in this race on lap 13 and Alonso on lap 25. It's a 12 laps difference in the offset there. And Alonso's got that gap down to under 3 seconds.
There where Lando is. There he is.
Personal best, fastest lap. Is Sergio Perez going to go for it? For one moment, he absolutely thought about it and then realised he was a bit too far back.
So, depending on how hard Norris pushes now, this gang could well have the leader.
Yeah, they could.
Get out of the way for the leader coming up behind him to lap them.
Lando Norris set the fastest lap again. He has.
Yeah.
1:34.9. He has just taken a new fastest lap in this race.
Yeah, of course he would.
And Max must have lost his.
I think it was deleted.
Yeah,
Deleted.
Yeah, it was deleted because that 34.9 is what he did before, and it's slower than Magnussen did.
Yeah, Magnussen must score his lifetime deleted there.
It was deleted. So, point back in Lando Norris's pocket.
He's having all the good luck today. Is Lando Norris twice brushing the wall, losing a fastest lap, and then getting it back without even having to go any faster himself. Certainly turning into a very fine night for the McLaren driver.
Yeah, a fine Sunday night for McLaren.
Will reduce Max Verstappen's lead in the championship from 59 points. We'll reduce that down by 8 points to 51, heading towards Austin next time.
57, there's 6 laps to go now.
That despite all the success they've had, Norris has taken 1 point out of Verstappen since Imola back in May. Back in May, was that? So it feels like it's been more than that, doesn't it?
But there have been challenges. Mercedes had that great run just before the summer.
Yeah, they did. Mercedes.
McLaren have been there or thereabouts, but Verstappen through it all has picked up the maximum amount of points that were available that weekend.
Yeah.
A car that hasn't always been the fastest. Perez looks to me like he is getting closer to Hulkenberg, and certainly Colin Pinto is getting much closer to Perez as well. What about George Russell and Charles Leclerc? That gap is now down to about 2.2 seconds.
Just a reminder how tricky the following effect is. Oscar struggled going through 3 cars. Be careful.
So you get laps on. Oh,
Yeah, he's coming.
Your choice of letting Lando know.
As I mentioned, Colin Pinto, Perez, Alonso, and Hulkenberg's in there as well, isn't he?
And I wonder if Piastri not catching Verstappen, a lot of that's down to the traffic he's had to go through.
Yeah, that's probably.
Gasly and Joe.
Yeah, Piastri wasn't going to get Verstappen anyway.
As well, just recently. But yeah, Lando Norris is right behind now. Colin Pinto, he's just about to lap him. And then Perez is about to get lapped by Lando Norris, and then Hulkenberg ahead of them.
Yeah.
It's, he can get to Fernando Alonso as well. Alonso now, 2.4 seconds behind Carlos Sainz.
Lando in traffic, but as you go past Colin Pinto, he's in the 37s and 38s recently. He needs to be careful. He doesn't let those tyres cool down too much. Needs to.
You got to be careful at the tyres don't cool down too much, because then you can make a mistake.
Off Perez.
When you move out of the way with these blue flags, obviously you get onto the marbles, you get off the racing line, and that might have just happened to the youngest driver in the field, the man from Argentina, because he's dropped back by about 2 and a bit seconds.
Yeah.
Now, this doesn't surprise me at all that Lando Norris is currently leading the driver of the day. He has very much been the fans' favourite throughout this season.
Most boys fan girls.
Farewell and thank you there to Daniel, isn't there?
Yeah. I wouldn't be at all upset if Daniel Ricciardo got driver of the day today. If this is to be his last, he doesn't get that chance to say farewell in Abu Dhabi. I'm kind of with Ted Gravis on this one. A real shame.
Do you have Norris behind? Okay, flashing blues are present. Let's be sensible. We're in line 3. Go on, keep pushing.
Well, he's obliged, isn't he, Sergio Perez? It's not he can't hold Lando Norris up for any more. Is it 3?
3 maximum space.
Leclerc faster again, Ben.
And you get a warning as
Russell.
well when you get within 3 seconds.
So someone's going under pressure from Leclerc.
He's within 3 seconds of catching you to lap you. And here then is Leclerc.
Well, Charles, I hate Ferrari strategy Leclerc.
George Russell.
Yeah, warning shots to George Russell. Not that he needs them, but the Scarlet Ferrari is right behind him.
Yeah.
The battle for 4th place is down to whether he can defend for the next 4 laps or so.
Yeah.
This is Lando Norris lapping Franco Colapinto.
And went wide.
When lapping Colapinto there, he went a bit deep into the corner. Nothing too serious there, but
yeah,
doesn't want to do that too often.
He's having a few adventures, isn't he? In what is one of the most dominant displays we've seen in Formula 1 for a long time.
But it shows you, though, how dusty it gets offline here.
Yeah.
It's been quite dusty on the track, despite the pressure wash that they put on it all weekend long. It's good stuff here from George Russell. He's keeping Charlotte on this particular lap. He's gone through all 4 DRS zones, and still he's holding on to that 4th place. So we watch from the rear of the Mercedes. Charles Leclerc spent a long time in this race, tucked up behind his drivers. He's had to work very, very hard for what is his current.
Yeah, let's see if there's anything about the Bastille and Martin incident.
To impress ourselves with the delta difference, 9 laps. Leclerc is 9 laps younger than George Russell.
And that should help him. Is he going to make a move here?
No.
George Russell hasn't got the DRS advantage that Charles Leclerc has, because Leclerc's behind him, but he'll be using the electrical energy, the air system, and deploying it in places where Charles Leclerc gets DRS to try and neutralise the effects of that rear wing opening.
Why bother to try and grab the inside of 8? He just lost him a bit of a few metres there, Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
But he's sticking as best he can over the Anderson Bridge there. Down the inside, potentially at turn 13 to George Russell. Maybe trying to catch George Russell a little bit by surprise there and go for an overtake in the part of the track where you don't normally see it. This is a little bit more usual from a DRS zone. If he can just hang on around that right-hander at turn 14, is there a move coming down the next DRS zone?
Yeah, there could be from Leclerc.
George Russell got
No.
a really good exit.
No move coming yet from Charles Leclerc.
Leclerc at bay.
Yes, Verstappen in the 135s now, but that's still a second or fastest lap. So he's not threatening fastest lap of Lando Norris.
Norris leads from Verstappen, from Piastri. And we have seen some close finishes in this season so far, but we're not seeing a close one at the moment. There's
Magnussen's retiring the car.
Seconds in between the top three. It's Kevin Magnussen back after missing Baku is in the pit lane again, Ted.
Well, Magnussen is, but more to the point, Daniel Ricciardo is as well. A third stop for Daniel Ricciardo. Don't go out like this, Danny Rick, with a 3-stop when everybody else is doing a 1.
No, Ted, I think I know what's happening here.
What's happening here?
Has he put a set of soft tyres on?
No, he already had a set of pretty knackered soft tyres on.
But I wonder, is Daniel Ricciardo going to take? Is he going to take the fastest lap in what could be his final Grand Prix?
Yeah, but 18.
Yeah, but
He won't take a point. He could take a fastest lap.
He wants balance, style Ricciardo does.
And crucially, he would take the fastest lap away from McLaren as Kylie Minogue gets ready to wave the checkered flag. Cue all mountain puns from Martin Brundle, who is the honorary member of the Kings Lynn Kylie Minogue fan club.
Indeed. My favourite grid walk interviewee, Kylie Minogue. Anyway, Charles Leclerc keeps sort of feigning up the inside of the wrong corners.
They have a very good traction again.
He needs to try and catch George Russell out here, try and surprise him some way, because the usual overtaking spots at the end of the DRS zones, George Russell seems to have it nicely covered. Good driving from George Russell to maintain this 4th place.
Yeah, very good drive from George. Leclerc.
Faster, we can see that. And Alonso now just 1.8 behind Sainz. He'll run out of laps, really, but he's definitely kept Ferrari Carlos Sainz very honest. That's Fernando Alonso.
Fernando has.
I think Leclerc's a little bit closer out of turn 5, but the straight line speed of the Mercedes is keeping Charles Leclerc at bay once more. This is without doubt the closest battle on the track currently, as our race leader Lando Norris starts his final lap of the race. Lando Norris, who started from pole here this afternoon and completed for the first time lap 1 from pole, still in the lead. He has led every single lap.
Some drivers from Lando.
The fastest lap currently as well, and he is on his way to a perfect night out on the streets of Singapore.
Yeah, he is.
And he's got round about 12 corners to go. And that is what the performance will do to the championship lead. They'll be 51 points behind by the time we get to Austin.
Ricciardo fastest in the first sector.
Ricciardo.
Spoil McLaren's perfection if he takes that fastest lap away.
It certainly will. The Grand Slam is on for Norris, bowing out in style for Daniel Ricciardo, or as much style as he can possibly muster with another fastest lap of his racing career. Lando Norris out of turn 13 has a few more corners to go as George Russell starts his last lap in defence.
Russell
Charles Leclerc.
may have it,
Between these two, Piastri and Verstappen will be completing the podium places, but there is the race leader, the man who has walked in on Thursday into the paddock with an air of confidence and a strut that said, these streets, this town, this could be my town.
Ricciardo's done it.
My moment. And just like he did in Zandvoort, Lando Norris has laid down a statement win here in Singapore tonight.
Lando's done it.
Lando Norris wins the Singapore Grand Prix.
So Ricciardo gets the fastest lap.
He wins by a distance. It is the 3rd Grand Prix win of the season for Lando Norris. It is not the fastest lap, though. Daniel Ricciardo
Ricciardo denies him.
Got that in what could be his final race. Max Verstappen will come home to take 2nd place to spoil the McLaren 1-2 and to keep
good drive for Max.
A have a charge going in his championship defence.
Ricciardo, of course, in the sister Red Bull team, has gone out and stolen a point.
Yeah, Ricciardo has. Piastri will take third.
Whether that's crucial or not, by the time we get to Abu Dhabi, we'll see how it plays out. Oscar Piastri, it's another podium in
another one
for the young Australian. One last time out in Baku. It's a 9th podium.
And Leclerc hasn't got Russell.
Here tonight.
Good drive from Russell.
Will come home as the lead Mercedes. Charles Leclerc fighting it all the way to the line. Great defence from Russell as he takes 4th place ahead of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton will
good drive from Russell and Leclerc.
Start on soft tyres really didn't help him. Carlos Sainz 7th.
Anyway, guys, I'll do the first half watch along. The race wasn't the best, but Lando wins again. And the gap at the top is now 52 or 53 points. Anyway, guys, I'll end it here. Smash the like button, guys. Subscribe if anyone wants to know this stuff if you signed in. And tell me the application about so miss any future videos / streams coming up. I'll see you on the next one. See you in a bit. I hope you have an amazing day.
Wasn't it, from Lando Norris? Absolutely superb.